Hello, I'm Cameron with Gale Force 9 Games, and I'm here today with the brand new re-release of the board game Dune. This is the first of our how to play videos, which will cover all the basics of the game. We'll cover the more advanced rules of the game in a later video. Today, we'll be covering the preparation stage, so how to set up the board and how to get each player ready for their first turn. First, you want to have the board placed on the table, which we already have, and separate the game into the different factions that you'll be playing. Today we'll be playing a 4-player game, but Dune can be played up to 6. If you're more experienced and know what faction you want to play, you can decide beforehand which each player will play. But if you're new, or if you just want to randomize it a bit, you can shuffle the alliance cards and deal 1 out to each player. Feel free to trade these cards until you've got a faction that you're happy with. Once you have a faction, you can start setting up the tokens behind your faction shield. These are the pieces of cardboard which allow you to hide your tokens and cards from other players, as well as having a little faction strategy guide on the back of each, which is very helpful for new players, because each faction is quite different. You also have 5 leader tokens, which are major characters in each of your factions. You also have 20 force tokens, which may either start on the map or may be held in reserve. Some of the forces you may notice have either a small star on them, in the case of the Emperor or Fremen forces, or a striped pattern, as is the case with the Bene Gesserit. You don't need to worry about the stars or the stripes with the base game, as the rules for these only affect the advanced game. Each faction has a little player token, which matches their emblem and their colour. Place this token on the ring part of the game in front of where you are sitting. Finally, each faction has a quick reference sheet, which tells you where you're going to set up your forces, how much spice you have, and any rules that are exclusive to your faction. Once you have done this, you can start placing the other elements of the game. If the Bene Gesserit are in the game, then they receive the deck of prediction cards. If House Atreides is in the game, then place the spice and treachery decks nearby to that player. If they are not in the game, then any player can take control of the spice or treachery decks, as it won't matter for gameplay reasons. You also have the Storm deck, which you can leave by the side for now, since they are for the advanced game only. Do the same with the Kwisatz Haderach card and the tokens that come with it. Each player can hold on to his or her corresponding alliance card for now. Now, we move on to the Traitor deck of cards. There is a Traitor card for every leader in the game, but since we're only playing with 4 of the 6 factions, you'll want to go through the Traitor deck and remove any of the leaders who aren't being used in this game. So in this case, we will go through and find all of the cards relating to either the Guild or the Emperor and take them out. Once you've done this, deal 4 cards to each of the players at the table. You want to keep these secret and not let any of your opponents see what cards you've got. Make a mental note of any cards that point to your own leaders, as you know these leaders are loyal. And then select 1 card to keep as a traitor. The only difference here is that the Harkonnen player gets to keep all 4 of the traitor cards, as noted in their quick reference guide. Other players return the spare traitor cards, and they are placed back into the traitor deck. Now, we allocate spice, which is the currency of Dune. Place all of the spice tokens into the spice bank. And once they are there, look at the quick reference sheet for the faction you're playing. As you can see, Harkonnen get 10 spice to start with. Once you have placed your spice, you want to start placing your forces on the map. This is again specified on the quick reference sheet. For example, Harkonnen places 10 forces in Carthage and 10 forces in reserve. Once the forces are all set up, you will take the turn marker and place it on turn 1. You can also take the storm token and place that on the section of the board marked Storm Start. Once the storm marker is placed, we make the storm's first move. Take the 2 battle wheels that come with the game and give it to the 2 players whose tokens are on either side of the storm. In this case, Fremen and Harkonnen. Once the players have the battle wheels, they take them, and, keeping the numbers secret, each pick a number between 1 and 20 on the battle wheel. Then they reveal the numbers they've chosen. In this case, the Fremen player has picked 4, while the Harkonnen has picked 8. Add these numbers together for a total of 12, and now move the storm token 12 spaces along the track. Now that the storm is in place, you can start playing Dune. Thank you for joining us for the first How to Play video for Dune. Dune is available to pre-order now, and the link is below. Follow us on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook to keep up with all the latest GF9 news. Thanks again.